Underground rap news. Today we're going to be here interviewing the one and only Slaughtaseth. So we're just going to jump right into it. First question I have for you is how did you come up with your artist name?
My artist name, bro. All right, let me be honest with y'all real quick. I was sitting in my room. My first original name was just my government name. It was Seth Galindo. That was it. And I remember people for the longest time were straight up like, bro, like your name, they're like not being disrespectful or nothing, but your name does not catch no one's eye, bro. They're like the Seth Galindo, that is like a business office name, bro. Like you gotta come up with
Mm.
something different. So I started listening to like that's when I started listening to like Susmula and Cemetery and all those guys. I started listening. I'm thinking like I want to make like some horror rap kind of music. So what's a cool name that would go with that? And I wanted to keep Seth because I just like the idea of having my own name like in there. I don't know, like maybe it's just like way back when I would listen to like Kendrick Lamar and stuff like that or J. Cole, like their name has something to do with their name, it feels more authentic. So I was sitting there for like 3 days in my room and I'm like, horror name. I'm like, what goes with Seth? And I came up with a bunch of different things. I was like, Maniac Seth there one and Disturbed Seth two. And I'm thinking, like, man, these all suck. These are so corny, like all of these names. And eventually, after a while, like I was just like laying in bed, just chilling. And out of nowhere, I think like Slaughter. I don't know what I was thinking of when I thought of that. And I like sat up and I was like, Slaughter Seth. First, it was just Slaughter Seth, like full pronunciation and everything. But then I was like, nah, like Slaughter Seth, like that sounds like super like pronounced and like just like all the way out there. So then I just cut the ER off and I put the A and I'm thinking like Slaughter. What if that by itself? So then I asked my boys, my chaotic mob boys, I was like, yo, do you think I should be Slaughter or Slaughter, this and that? Sitting there for like, bro, I'm like being so serious with you, bro. I sat there for a good like 30 minutes with them, bro, like on the phone. I was like, bro, what is a cool ass name? And they were like, to be honest with you, bro, like put them all together. I was like, Slaughter Seth. And I sat there for a couple of days and I was reading the distro kid like manual and stuff like that. And I was like looking at like how it's gonna change my name and all that. And I'm thinking like, okay, like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go with it. I was like, what's the worst that would happen? And Slaughter said. And honestly, the name just birthed from me trying to think horror because I love horror. I love
Mm.
horror movies. Like as of recent, I've been watching as a horror movie every day with my family. I've been doing that every day. Watched The Conjuring today. The other day we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the other day we watched Halloween. I love all
Mm.
those horror movies, but what I really do like though is like the like as of recent, I like Terrifier, Hostel, all those like really, I guess you would say like gory, crazy kind of movies because I kind of put them into like my music videos. And as a kid, I've always liked, growing up 2010s, that's when like creepy pastas and all those stuff were a thing, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I've been super interested in a horror and stuff like that. So when I heard for the first time like horror rap, as in like, maybe you would say like Memphis Music, Suicide Boys, all those, I was like, dang, like this is cool. But then for a while, I was like, nah, like my style doesn't really like my voice doesn't fit it. And then listening to Susmula is where like I was like, okay, bro, like his voice sounds freaking weird. I was like, if he can do it, for sure I could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I was like, I sat there for a while and Slaughter Seth goes with it because I think slaughter as like violence. I think slaughter as like a violent kind of word. So then slaughter put it together. It's just a good combination of that. Plus, I love to mosh pit, bro. So put all those together, and I think the name goes perfectly with the kind of music I make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So what city did you grow up in?
I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I moved around a lot. So I was born here where I'm at right now in this little small town called Kerrville. This place, bro, is literally like how would I describe this? It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre land, bro. Like the way the outline is, like freaking like trees over here, trees over there, super small town. Like it's so small that out of the circle of small towns there is, it's like the most popular small town, bro. Like it's super small place outside of San Antonio, Texas. But my family moved us out of here when I was like a year old because, kind of think about it, like I don't think my parents wanted to live out here in this little small town. And my dad's originally from Los Angeles. So we moved there when I was 1, and I grew up in Los Angeles all the way up until I was 18. And I moved around a lot. I moved when we first moved there when I was like little. And, growing up, I lived in a place called Lincoln Heights, which is like a
Mm.
little, like, it's ghetto. It's a little ghetto spot, you feel me? Like it's one of those, like, my dad grew up there. He knows about all that. I wasn't allowed to go outside the gate at my nana's house kind of thing. I went there, then we moved to Monterey Park, which was like the first, I would say, like safer spot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Asian people there, it's like a big Asian community around there. That's where I actually started doing jujitsu at because I do that there. Around that area is when I first started doing it. And I grew up there for a little bit, went to Monterey Park, and then we moved to Rosemead, which is literally like right up the street from over there. And I lived there for like, I don't know, like a year or two before some crazy shit happened. And then the rest of the time I lived in Alhambra, which is like I mean, in my eyes, I look at it like a super nice little neighborhood in California, a little suburban area. And yeah, growing up there was cool. During COVID, horrible time. During COVID, we moved over here to Texas, and I've been here since what? That was like 2020, right? 2020,
Mm.
2021. Yeah, I've been here since then, and I mean, I got to be honest, I miss California a lot. This is actually where I'm going this week. I'm going over there to California to visit. Well, just me and my family are about to go over there for Halloween Horror Nights. I
Mhm.
think about it a lot. California. I'm just over here. It's super. It's just the hustle and bustle of California is just where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Yeah.
super busy, super just like every day is just a constant like going, 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 waking up early, going to do this, going to do that, all of that, which I kind of incorporate into the music. That's why I mean, bro, we're up at 12 a.m. right now. I'm about to stay up another, 4 hours just because that's what I'm used to. I'm about to like do this, do that. And it's just, I do miss California. But yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles my whole life, all 18 years, and then the rest over here. I'm 21 now.
All right.
Yes,
So,
sir.
my next question for you, what's the story or just like a quick summary of the story of how you got into music and what was the story behind what actually went towards you making your very first ever song?
Bro, okay. This is in my eyes, it's a interesting story, but for others, it would be like, okay, that's random. So like for a little while when I lived in California before COVID, being teenagers, me and my homies wanted to make music just for the fun of it.
Mhm.
During the time like Shoreline Mafia and all those guys were around, and like California rap, we're seeing all that, Lil Pump, all those guys were seeing it. So we were like, you know what? Like we should do that for fun. And that never materialized, but like in my head, I was always like, that would be kind of cool to do though. You know what I'm saying? Like that, just for a hobby at the time. I was like, that would be cool. Then COVID came around. 2020 moved over here. Ain't nothing else to do, bro. We were literally like stuck in the house, couldn't even go out, literally just like go to the store and back. And I started working at the time. And what really motivated me during that time in COVID, before all of that, like, working and all that, was like, really, there was nothing else to do. And during that time, I started listening to like Joey Badass. I started listening to West Side Gun, all the boom bap music before. At the time, it freaking blew my mind. I was like, dang, these guys are lyricists, this and that. Kind of like where other people start sometimes. They're kind of like these people. The way they rap, this and that. That looks cool. I start following hip hop pages. I start writing my own lyrics. And what led to the first song that we ever made was actually, I would say, like a year after COVID, around 2021. Me and my cousin were just sitting in his room, and he liked to make music too. I haven't talked to him in a while, just a little personal thing, but me and him were just sitting in the room, and he liked to play the guitar, and he showed me a beat that he made on with his guitar. And I thought it was super cool. And I had, asked my dad to buy me this desktop microphone that I have up here. Actually, I haven't used in fucking forever. I got this new one now. And I was like, yo, I was like, I brought my microphone. I'm about to leave your house in like an hour. We got this beat. What if I were to just write something real quick and we just do it for fun? And he was like, you know what? Fuck it. And the name of our first song was called Slow Life. That's the name of it. It's called Slow Life. Probably like top 10 worst songs you probably ever hear in your life. Like, I'm being so real. Like, it is just horrible quality, no sort of mixing, bro. Just from there straight onto my MacBook. I mixed them like right before I had to go to bed to go to school, and I uploaded the next day. And it was, I mean, it was just like, horrible, but it did kind of spark something in me. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing like what it could be eventually is kind of like what it turned into, because at the during again COVID, I was releasing these songs and I was doing it because I was literally all I could do, like literally
Mhm.
nothing else that I could possibly do besides go to school, come back, go to sleep. It was like I was kind of bored, I was kind of upset about it. And then when I started working, then that's when I was like, okay, I need to do something else besides this. Because then I'm seeing all these people's name tags saying like 47 years, 23 years, all this stuff working at these spots. And I'm like, man, they're not doing nothing else, bro. Like nothing else with their life. Like I need to do something to like, progress it. And I was already doing jujitsu and I added music to it. So it would be less, my life would be less boring. So I guess, the summary of it is I got bored and there was something I was interested in that I saw that I was like, for sure, I could get to this. And to add on top of it, like once I start something, like I need to get good at it. Like it's just like a mental thing where it's like, I start this and then I start thinking like way ahead and I'm like, okay, like I need to do something with this. I can do something with this better. And just over the years I started one by one just getting better at what I was doing, and it all started because there was nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
there was literally nothing else to do and the music started right there.
All right.
That's the story
So,
to that.
what would you say is the number one biggest challenge that you've overcome in your career?
To be honest with you, bro, I'm gonna just say two. I know you said one, but I'm gonna say two. They're kind of the
I
same
bet.
thing. The first one, audience, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I first started music, like that's I always heard about like haters, but like that was the first time where like people that I knew were like, bro, like give you that look like you make music. Like they give you that look like you're from like another world, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's when I realized like, okay, like I'm gonna just have to look past that. It is what it is. There's an audience for everyone. If Cemetery can go and make music the way he does and he has hundreds of thousands of listeners, there can be an audience for everyone. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What the biggest challenge so far, not even the writing, no mixing, none even money. It's promotion. That is the biggest challenge that I've ever come across, because it's not that the promotion costs money. It's not that the promotion has to be a certain way or anything like that. It has to be different, because all the artists that I've listened to, like I listened to like Rao the Arsonist the other day, and his whole vibe is like that whole like horror, like weird, like digital camera from like the 2000s, just like really weird. He has his own universe and stuff like that. Suicide Boys, the way their whole vibe is with like the whole Memphis and all that, it triggers something different. Or like I said, like Haunted Mountain, their thing is kind of it is copying off of somebody else, but it is something different. I hadn't seen something like that before, so it made me go and click on it. And when I started getting into like the horror genre of it, I realized like, okay, I need to be able to promote to these people. That's what it is. It's specific people that want to see it. Cause I mean, I'm sure, at the end of the day, not everybody, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
nobody really cares. Nobody wants to see what you're doing. They may be interested, but some people, once you start talking about it more, they kind of just drown it out with more noise. You know, it's just like, okay, this guy's talking about whatever he's talking about. You know, I don't, it's kind of like, I don't really care. And I've run into that. But along with it being a challenge, I got to be honest, like the promotion, like coming up with ideas, writing them down, you know, thinking about it from my own mind, not anybody else's, like it kind of pushes the drive again, you know, it motivates me because I think of this idea and I'm like, you know what? Like it's cool to me, but honestly, like I could see somebody seeing this on a promotion and being like, you know, this is interesting. Let me go see what this guy is about. So I would say audience is what came first, you know, trying to convey to a certain person. And then the promotion itself, the ideas is where it gets a little bit difficult. But I kind of let it come naturally. So, you know, it doesn't stress me out at the same time it does. But I would say promotion is probably the biggest issue that I run into
All right.
ever.
So, what would you say has been your number one favorite moment of your career?
Number one favorite moment. My first show. I gotta be honest, my first show. I'm sure a lot of people have said that to you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
what pretty
a lot of
much
people have been
everyone
like
I've
my
interviewed
first show.
said. Yeah.
But honestly, bro, like it was crazy. I got a group name is Chaotic Mob. Shout out Chaotic Mob. And my homie over there in Houston, his name is Glocky. We've been making music for a little bit. We had like, bro, we straight up had like 10 songs. Like I'm serious, only like 10 songs. And he had this venue. He knows this venue over there called Super Happy Funland, bro. Like ghetto spot, bro. Like in the middle of downtown. That place is super ghetto. And like he was like, you know what, low key, like out of nowhere, bro. This is literally like a month before. He was like, let's do a show. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, like I'm down, low key. Like, let's do the show. And what was cool, what was memorable about the show wasn't like us performing or anything or like all of that. It was more of like it was the vibe of it, bro. Like it was like I got a taste of what it could be if we were to like blow up and we could like make a living off of music. Because there was people there, bro, and they were rocking with our music. They came up to me after and were like, bro, like your part was badass, bro. Like that was dope. Like, what are y'all's names? And I gave them flyers and stuff like that. And then seeing everybody else doing the music and we're all turning up, like it was so chill, like just everything about it was like, man, like this could be life. You know what I mean? Like this could be our life if we grind hard enough. It was either between that moment or I would say when, oh, when we got our feature from Matthias Tyner. Shout out Matthias. She just did an interview with him.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Me and my boy have been listening to him for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been listening to him for a while, and like finally getting a feature from somebody that we listen to. That's badass, bro. Like that's like if you were to get like an interview with like somebody you listen to, say you love like Babytron, and you get an interview with Babytron, like it would be like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And then that, and also probably meeting my Chaotic Mob boys. It's three, I understand, but meeting them kind of push the pace a little bit more because we all have our styles and we're able to like make not only have I have not only that I make new friends, but also like combining our styles together is something crazy to see, and putting it out there and having people being able to like listen to it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Uh, but for sure, the first show I ever did was probably one that I probably remember blow up one day, and people are gonna be like, Nardwar is gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna be like, "Wow, how do you know about that?"
All right. So, who are the top three artists you want to collab with someday in your career?
Bro, I just had this conversation with my boys, bro. I'll go from least to up.
All
Number
right.
three, number three, if I'm being honest with you, no, no, no. I'm gonna go 1 to 3 because it's a little bit more important. Number one is gonna be Sus Mullah, bro. I want to feature with Sus Mullah so bad, just out of the lone fact that he like inspired my style in the sense of like the way I rap, the beats I use, all of that, like similar style. And then I also like the fact that he kind of just like switched it up after City Morgue, like kind of like made like the super hard like trap metal music, and then out of nowhere just comes out of here with like this like hard like horror rap trap style. That whole thing is just badass to me. Him, number two is Cemetery. Of course, I mentioned him like fucking 10 times already this whole interview.
Mhm.
Him and the Haunted Mound, like, I didn't really I always listen to his music, but after seeing him live, and I met him. I met him after one of his shows in Austin. Like super chill dude, and the kind of music he makes is almost similar to my style. But like the whole energy and stuff that he brings, bro, to like when he performs, like I fuck with that heavy, bro. It's always about the energy, like all of that.
Mhm.
And number three, I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna say Lil Darky, bro. You know who that is? You know who Lil
Yeah.
Darky is? I'm gonna say him because when I first started getting into like trap metal music way back like, during like the beginning of COVID, like his music went so fucking hard for me, bro. And like it's just like I've kind of like listened to him up to that point, supported like his thing, listen to the music, bought the merch, all of that. And his style is super close to mine. And bro, like they turn up, bro. Like when we went to their show in Austin, probably like one of the craziest shows I've ever been to. Just like the energy of everyone and like him and his group, Spider Gang, like all those guys are just super chill. We met them, pictures, autographs, and all that, and it's super cool. Plus, him being fully independent, I think that's also pretty cool. Along with everyone else, I think except Susmola, I don't know. I think he signed to somebody, but other than that, all the independent guys, like the way that they're going hard, just doing it themselves. I think it's super cool to support. So
All right.
it's pretty cool.
So, what would you say is your number one favorite song that you've made so far out of your entire discography?
Out of my entire discography, the one that I just released the other day called Zombie. I
All
I
right.
I released that song a couple of months ago, and it was like the first one. I got a weird story for that one if you want to hear it, but it was I just came upstairs one day where I usually record, and I was telling my boys like I want to make like a just like a random mixtape, like a horror kind of mixtape, and it was gonna be called Zombie. And I love having the name of the album as like one of the songs. I love doing that. So Zombie had to be the hardest song in my eyes, and so I had found this beat on YouTube, and I had recorded on it one night super tired, bro. It was like 6 in the morning. Like I was like tripping. And I was like, I recorded the song and then like I mixed it. Didn't even listen to it. I just mixed it on BandLab, turned off my phone and went to sleep. And I woke up and I listened to it. And I was like, damn, like this is kind of hard. Cause a lot of the songs that I make, like even the ones that I release sometimes, like I kind of listen back to them and I'm like, nah, I could do better. You know what I'm saying? Some
Yeah.
people have that. But Zombie was one of the songs where I listened to it and I was like, this is pretty cool because I mentioned a lot of like the movies and games and stuff that I used to like play or listen to or watch when I was a kid. And growing up, even now, the ones that I rewatch and I make a lot of references to them. And I think that's cool. I love when like I can reference stuff that I like watch, I like listening to all that. And plus, it's a completely different vibe of a song. I use like a dark plug beat and then that's where the funny part comes in. I had dropped it on YouTube and on all platforms just as like a warm up to the album Zombie. And the producer texted me and he goes, "Bro, buy the beat, bro." Like out of nowhere, like he had texted me, and I'm thinking like, I thought I did, and I'm going through like my files trying to find the receipt, and I'm like, "Oh, bro, my bad." And so I came up with a lie. I don't smoke or drink. So I straight up told bro, like, "Oh, bro, I was so high, bro. My fault. I forgot to do that." And he
Mhm.
was like, "Bro, how high did you get?" And I was like, "I was fucked up, bro. My fault." I'm thinking like, "Damn, that's a lie. That's like a horrible lie." And then I bought the beat and just and went with it. But that song for sure is it's kind of changed like my perspective on music, like the way I record and stuff like that. That one or the first song on my first album called My Life because of what I talk about. I talk about like growing up, my parents, sister, all of that. That's a good song. But for sure, Zombie is the one right now that kind of changed everything for me. Plus, people fuck with that song. People have been listening to it like on all platforms. I think it's pretty cool. So I fuck with that one heavy.
All right, sure. So, if you had to sum it up, what would you say is the number one biggest thing that makes you different from other artists?
Personality. And that's not
Personality?
even I'm not even gonna be like it's not even like a cocky thing. Like I don't want it to come off like that. But you gotta, I mean, you gotta kind of look at like today's generation of music. Like a lot of it has to do with, I mean, personality. You kind of look at like Laser Dim, bro. Like a lot of people may consider his music like trash or whatnot, but like you kind of have to look at it from like his perspective. Like he makes it for fun. It's fun for him, and that dude's a funny ass dude, bro. Like he's hilarious.
Mhm.
So like that, and it doesn't even have to be like you personally. It can even be like the personality of your music. Like for example, like City Morgue. You kind of look at City Morgue, even though this was like before all the stuff that had happened, but like the vibe that they gave off, like that whole like rock kind of vibe, but it had to do with rap music. It's something different. Kind of look at like Suicide Boys, the way their whole vibe is something cool. People fuck with it, and if somebody can get along with you, like the way that you are as a person, they can bond with you, and it helps as an artist because then your music can relate to how you are, and then it kind of just grows a fan base over that. I would for sure say that if you don't really have a personality, it's kind of like real life. Certain jobs are for certain people, and some jobs you kind of need to be out there, and there's some people that just can't do that. Like an example for yours, I mean, you interview people, you kind of need to be cool with people. You need to have like a vibe to you so people can be comfortable and be like, yeah, this guy's cool. I fuck with his interviews and that. It's kind of like the same thing with Nardwar. Nardwar's personality, the way he is as an interviewer, the stuff that he talks about, the stuff that he finds out, and just the way that he acts is just, it's so cool. And I do look up to not look up, but I do like that Mexican OT,
Mhm.
like Texas rap wise. And that dude's hilarious, bro. Sometimes I just be there watching like the vlogs instead of like listening to the music because I just think that he's hilarious. So I would say for sure personality like is out there for sure with me, like 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Like 100%.
So, what would you say are some of the biggest things that motivate you to keep grinding every day?
I'm gonna say top three. I'm gonna put at the bottom, I'm gonna put money because of course everyone wants to make money. Who doesn't like money?
Mhm.
Number two, I'm gonna say friendship, because with me and my boys, we're all kind of in the same like situation right now, in the sense of like we're all like still living, we'll kind of say like living by ourselves. We're not together. We don't really have like a following or anything, but having them there for sure kind of pushes me, because I look at it like we all made like promises to all of us, to ourselves. And I would say like you would have to be close friends to be able to make a promise like, bro, I promise you one day this is going to happen and this is going to happen. And having the vision, like the vision I always tell them I have with my homies, even though it's something super simple, is I always have a dream of us going shopping together, bro. For some reason, like that dream plays like concurrently all the way, like always through my mind. Just us literally walking together, like shopping, like just buying whatever we want and just being with each other, like just being together with my homies one day would be the coolest thing. And that goes along with the money. And number three, on myself, you know,
Mhm.
just knowing what I could do pushes me, because I know that there's another, how would I say, like platform that I can reach. Like as long as I keep moving and doing it the way that I want to do it and doing it the way that I see it, I know that people are gonna see that and they're gonna like it. And it's that kind of goes back to looking up to certain artists that are like, independent, like Darky, Haunted Mound, all those guys, they're independent. They're by themselves. They did it the way they wanted to do it, and people liked it. So knowing that I could be like they are and I could do it myself and I could build this up myself, it's that for sure motivates me. Along with put in the friends part family because man, my family supports the hell out of me, bro. Like parents and sister, she helps me record all my music videos, she helps me edit. And my parents just, they've done a lot. They bought me the microphone that I use to record. The fact that they believe, in what I do and, they see the vision every time I show them like videos or songs or, like an idea that we're going to do with like my group or myself, like it motivates me, it pushes me. All of this together kind of builds like who I am because I know that I have a place to be eventually. And the only way to reach it is to just keep pushing myself. So I would say those three for sure push me to where I want to be, and just keep doing what I'm doing like nonstop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, who would you say is the GOAT of rap in your opinion?
Oh no, bro. This is a dangerous question.
Just first person that comes to mind, just overall,
Bro,
best of all time.
bro, you're laughing at me, bro. You know I'm gonna say some bullshit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna say Eminem, bro.
All right,
I
sir.
and I want you to look at it like this, not today's generation of Eminem. I'm talking like blow it like Slim Shady EP all the way up to like the like it's called like Encore or something like that. Like that era of Eminem, like the whole like horrorcore rap, all the way coming into like the more emotional, slow kind of music. Like it's all kind of, it's all kind of it kind of the way that he built his character, that he can do so many different things is what's cool to me. Along with of course the lyricism and the stuff that he writes, like, but like the character that he built and the way he was able to switch through all that, like for sure, I would say he's the greatest rapper of
All
all
right.
time, in my opinion.
So,
No one
my
attack me.
my last question, my final question that I have for you is, what's the number one biggest piece of advice that you would give to other artists?
Keep going. That's what I'm gonna say. Keep going. It may sound, I understand it's probably like something corny to say, but this also goes back to everything else that I do. Besides this, I also train jujitsu. It's a martial art. And ever since I was younger, my coaches and everything would always tell me like keep going. When I was in school, they would tell me keep going. When I'm, working out or anything, my dad will tell me like keep going. It's always like something that plays in my head. And I have a little saying I tell my whenever, my members are going through a little time or whenever we feel like something isn't moving, I always tell them like let time do its thing. We all have
Mhm.
a plan, we all have a place to be, and there's no need to rush it. I know it may feel like time is moving super fast. It may feel like, dang, like I'm 21 years old, I'm gonna be 30 in 9 years. Like I need to like hurry up and do this. But as long as you do it the way that you want to do it, which is another thing, and as long as you keep going, never stop. Usually just don't let anybody tell you like there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be like, man, it didn't work out for me, or it didn't work out for him, or I knew a lot of people that did that and it didn't work. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like it's what you want to do. It's not what the guy down the street wants to do, or the guy up the street, or the person that talked to you. Like, who cares? Like, literally, just keep going, do it yourself, and time will do its thing. There's a place that we all have to be, and for sure, time will let you know when it's your time. So keep going. Don't care about what anyone has to think. Do it yourself and for yourself, and time will let you know when it's your time to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When it's your time to make it.
For sure. All right, well, that's all we have for today. Make sure y'all go check
Cool.
out Slaughtaseth's music if you haven't already. He's got so many bangers out right now. Been
Appreciate
going
it.
crazy
Appreciate it.
lately. And help show support to the channel and to this video. Drop a like on this video, comment, let us know what your favorite part was, and most
Shout out
importantly,
Underground Interviews. Shout it out.
make sure y'all subscribe to stay tuned for future interviews. Thanks for watching.